Welcome to episode 9 of my 15-minute crochet series. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, I will be linking them down below. Today's 15-minute project is this really cute bird chick keychain. And just a quick disclaimer, this is only meant to take 15 minutes, but if you're a beginner, it could take longer because you're learning stitches for the first time. For supplies, we will need some size 5 yarn. This is the yarn that I'm using from Loops and Threads, the Posh Pearl yarn in size 5 bulky and in the color lemon. And I'm also using the orange version of it. And then you'll need a 4.5mm crochet hook, some scissors, keychain hardware, and then 8mm safety eyes, a darning needle, and then some stuffing. We will be starting with a magic circle using our yellow yarn, so I just hold it like so, and then I take my right hand. My left hand's pointer finger will be right here, my right 2 fingers are right here, my left hand twists, my right 2 fingers grab this yarn and pull all the way until about right here where you can see 2 different holes. My left hand is holding it securely, like so. My right hand takes my crochet hook into the top hole, and then I make a chain 1, and then I flip it horizontally like this, and that is your magic circle. So now we'll be putting 6 single crochets inside this magic circle. How you do that is you insert your yarn, you yarn over, pull it back up, and now you have 2. Yarn over, pull it through these 2 stitches. Again, inside the loop, yarn over, pull it back out of the loop. Now you have 2. Yarn over, pull through those 2. And then you just keep going until you have 6 single crochets inside this magic circle. Most of this project will consist of single crochets, so this is the perfect time to master this stitch. Once you're done, you take the tail and you pull all the way until it cinches closed, all the way until there's no more hole in the middle, like so. And then I just turn my project like this. I look for the first single crochet that I made. It's this one right here. You can see the little V. I insert my hook into that stitch, like so. And you should still see the V right here. I yarn over, pull through that stitch, and then pull through the loop on my hook. That's a slip stitch. After that, I'll make a chain 1 before starting row number 2. Okay, so for the next row, we're going to do an increase on this stitch. This is the first stitch, so an increase means you're just putting 2 single crochets into the exact same stitch. After that, I go on to the next stitch. I do the same thing, which is an increase. So I first put my single crochet in, and I go back into the exact same stitch and do another one. And you're going to repeat this for all of the stitches in this row until you have 12 stitches overall. Okay, so once you have 12 stitches, now we're going to close this row by doing a slip stitch on here. So you see the first single crochet that I make a slip stitch through this one, and then to start the next row, I make a chain 1. I do this before starting every single new row. Okay, now for the third row, we're going to make a single crochet on this stitch right here, the first stitch. So just do a normal single crochet. And then on the next stitch over, I'll be doing an increase. So I put 2 single crochets into the exact same stitch. After that, I go into the next stitch and do 1 single crochet. And then on the next stitch, I'm doing an increase. So there's a pattern here where I'm just doing 1 single crochet and then an increase, 1 single crochet and then an increase, and we're going to keep repeating this until we reach the start right here, and you should have 18 stitches overall. And like always, I'm going to make a slip stitch to close this row and then a chain 1 to start the next one. Okay, so for row number 4, you just need to do a single crochet all around, which is just 1 single crochet per stitch. So just 1 single crochet all around until you have 18 stitches overall, which is the exact same amount as the previous row. So I just did all 18 stitches. I do my slip stitch and then chain 1. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing that I just did, but 4 more times. So just do 4 more rows of 18 single crochets. Okay, so once that's done, this is how it should look like. It's definitely much longer. And so far I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows total. So just make sure you have 8 rows. And now I'm gonna place my safety eyes on the body. So I'm gonna put it in 1, 2, 3, 4, between rows 4 and 5 right here. So place one first, and then we'll place the other one as well. Okay, so the other eye should be about right here. So it's like 3 stitches apart. That is a good spacing for it. And then I'm just placing the backing. So now we're gonna continue onto row number 9. So I place my hook back on, and then first I'm gonna make 1 single crochet right here. And then on the next 2 stitches, I'm gonna make a decrease. So that means I'm making these 2 into 1 stitch. I first insert my hook through the next stitch, I yarn over, pull it back out, I insert again onto the next stitch, yarn over, pull it back out. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. I yarn over, pull through all 3. That is a decrease. Next, I do a single crochet again. And then next, I'm going to do a decrease again. So once again, I'm just going to repeat the decrease like so. And then again, a single crochet and then a decrease. So you just repeat single crochet, decrease, single crochet, decrease until you get to the end of the row, and you should have 12 stitches overall. Once I'm done this row, I do the same thing where I do a slip stitch and then a chain 1 before starting the next row. So now I'm gonna take my hook out, and then I'm gonna start stuffing this plushie. So I take my stuffing and then make sure to fill it up as much as possible so that it maintains its form. Okay, so once you're happy with that, we're gonna do our very last row. So for this one, I'm gonna make a decrease first. So I insert my hook, yarn over, pull it back out, insert onto the next stitch, yarn over, pull it back out, and then yarn over, pull through all 3. And then you're gonna keep repeating this decrease for all of the stitches. So you should have 6 stitches overall after this row. And it should be a little more difficult to do this row because everything is just getting smaller and tighter, but make sure you are not loosening your tension so that there aren't many holes in your plushie and the stuffing doesn't have to come out. And like always, we're going to finish with a slip stitch and then a chain 1, and then we're gonna leave a long tail before cutting the yarn because we do need to sew the plushie closed. So I cut this much, I pull my hook upwards so that makes a knot, and then I'm just going to use my darning needle to sew the hole closed. Okay, so I just kind of take my needle and go back and forth, like alternate between the stitches. So up and then down, and then again up and then down. And then I just pull all the way until it's tight, and then I make a knot just over here. And then I insert my needle back into the plushie all the way to the other side, and then I cut it. Now at this point, I'm just gonna insert my keychain hardware. We might have different ones, so you can attach it in the way that you need to, but this is just how I attach mine. And now we're moving on to the wings. So I take my yellow yarn and make a slip knot like so. My left hand twists, my right 2 fingers grab this yarn, pull all the way up until you make this loop. That is a slip knot. I insert my hook into the loop, I tighten it so that it's a bit smaller, and then I'm gonna make 3 chains. So that's 1, 2, 3. Next, we're gonna look for the second chain from the loop, and I make a half double crochet. So you yarn over first, and then I insert my hook into this chain, yarn over again, pull up, and now you have 3. Yarn over, pull through all 3. That's a half double crochet. On this next one, I'm going to make a double crochet. So you yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull it through that chain, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through 2. And then I make a chain 1, and then I cut the yarn, and then I just pull my hook upwards and then replicate this for the other wing. Now to attach the wing, this is what we're going to do. I take my crochet hook and go to this row below the eye. These 2 stitches specifically, I insert my hook like this. I take one tail of the wing and then I hook it and then I pull it all the way to the other side, like so. And then I take these 2 tails and make a double knot. This is how I attached the wing onto the body. And then after I make the double knot, I just take my darning needle and I use it to push the tails back inside of the plushie. And once that's done, all you have to do is repeat it onto the other side. Make sure you're placing it onto the correct row so that it's even on both sides. Okay, now for the details, we're going to use the orange yarn. So thread your darning needle now, and we're gonna pick a spot on the side of the chick right here, and it should end up right next to this eye. And you pull all the way. You need a pretty long tail for this, like so. And then over here, and then I end up back on this side. And then once again, I will go back to the exact same spot right here, and then I will poke out down here to start on the feet. So now we've just completed the beak area, and now we're going to be down on the feet. So for this, I'm going to go down here, insert, and go back out right next to where we entered. And then go back into the exact same spot and end up on the right again. And then go back into the same spot. And then I insert right next to it, right here. And then I just replicate what I did for the first foot. So I just choose this spot, go back into the same bottom half, and then I choose the stitch next to it right here, go back into the same one, and then one last will be to the right of it. And then now I just put my needle anywhere, all the way to the other side. And then I just cut my yarn, and that is pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had fun making this mini bird chick keychain, and I'll see you all next week for episode 10.